Hey, what's going on, Luke here? We're here to do a quick review of the 2021 NRL Grand Final, in which we saw the Penrith Panthers picking up victory over the South Sydney Rabbitohs 14-12 in a tight gripping game. Now, first off, I just want to say a huge congratulations to the Penrith Panthers. I wrote yous off. I honestly wrote yous off. I didn't think yous could win after yous lost to the Rabbitohs in the first week of the finals. I thought yous were done. I know they're giving it to Paul Kent at the moment, but it was a pretty popular opinion. I don't want to say we put a complete line through yous, but I want to say that we thought it was going to be super hard. Although once you beat Melbourne, I was like, alright, now they are the favourites again. So that was purely down to nobody can beat Melbourne thing, and obviously yous did beat Melbourne, and now yous beat the Rabbitohs, and now yous are the premiers. Same could be said about the Rabbitohs though. I put a line through them months and months ago, like a lot of people did, as soon as Panthers put 50 on them, and then the Storm did the same thing. So it's a credit to both of these sides that they actually made it to the Grand Final, and what a Grand Final actually was. Talk about it throughout the rest of the season, all those high scoring games. Then we get to the final series and they dry up a lot, and it's built on defence, and that's what the Panthers side was built on actually. It was just built on defence. The try scoring was non-existent essentially. You look at the actual tries that they scored. They did score a nice little try on the 5th tackle with Matty Burton going through and just using his pace, hitting a gap, Jerome Lyle put him through. That was a really nice try. But the second try was just an intercept. It was just Cody Walker throwing a bad pass, Stephen Crichton putting himself in position, and then him running away untouched. So even in terms of the Grand Final throughout the rest of the final series, a lot of their tries came from just a kick, and they only really scored like 1 or 2 tries a game. So it's definitely not the Penrith play style that we generally think of. When I think of Penrith, I think of them as being flary and just great in attack and quick and just scoring a lot of points. And that's not what we saw in the final series. However, we saw an even better side, and that was a great defensive side. And it's a credit to them because last year, that's what they were all about, scoring points. In the Grand Final, they got blown off the park and they didn't know where to go from there. This year, they came out, they mashed it with the Rabbitohs. Actually, I say they mashed it with the Rabbitohs. They pretty much smashed the Rabbitohs all game, but the Rabbitohs just had that strike power. Talking about attack, the Rabbitohs could attack at any point, and that's exactly what they did. Cody Walker's try, I thought, was absolutely fantastic. Just pushed Nathan Cleary into oblivion. Never seen someone get destroyed like that, and yet Nathan Cleary ended up getting the last laugh, picking up the victory. Obviously, Cody Walker threw that final pass and pretty much lost him the game. Let's be real, that's pretty much what happened. I know it's going to be the unpopular narrative. People don't want to address the situation. They want to say poor Cody Walker, but end of the day, he did throw the pass. It is unlucky, but hey, if he throws a pass and it lands, they probably end up scoring. It didn't land, and Penrith ended up scoring and winning the game. Now, I know they did end up scoring a try in the corner. Alex Johnston went over and made it a little bit closer than what it was. But realistically, Penrith were the better side throughout the whole game. I know right at the end, Rabbitohs came strong, and they did have a very unlucky call go against them, and I will talk about this one. So Cody Walker took it to the line. I think it was like 3rd or 4th tackle, about 10 metres out, went to throw a pass. Nathan Cleary definitely touches the ball, and it goes over the sideline. Referee says, nah, take it to the middle, you just threw it out. They didn't have any challenges because they'd used it earlier. So look, there's nothing they could really do. Just a bad call from the referee, but they're the sort of calls that you look at it and it was pretty close. So I can understand how it happened, but at the same time, you think the bunk would be able to intervene. They've done it at different points throughout the season. That's what I find very frustrating with the NRL, even into the reffing in the Grand Final. I touched on it earlier how previous games, even in a previous game with the Rabbitohs and the Panthers, 50 points were scored. Now this one, it was 14-12. 2 tries apiece with a penalty goal. The only difference was a missed conversion from the sideline by Adam Reynolds. So it was a tight game, but my point of this was the fact that the game was reffed so differently throughout different points of the season. Then all of a sudden you get to the Grand Final and they start reffing it a complete different way. Now if you're not a hardcore fan or just a casual fan or even like a Penrith fan, you probably look at this Grand Final and you're like, I don't care, we won, or I don't care, it was a pretty entertaining game. But just comparing this game compared to previous games throughout the year, and a lot of previous games throughout the year, pretty much from Magic Round onwards, you can see that the game was reffed completely different. I think it's hard to actually put a line through teams these days because the game is reffed and played so different throughout different points in the season. So just because the Rabbitohs got towed up by 50 midway through the season, the game's completely different by the time the finals come around. So that is the one frustrating thing I'll talk about. Another frustrating thing I'll talk about as well is the Channel 9 commentary. I thought Phil Good, I'm glad to see him at the Bulldogs. I can't wait to see what he does, but he was so frustrating to listen to. Just the whole time it felt like he was going against the Panthers, and that's in contrast to last year where I felt like everything the Panthers did, even whether it was good or bad, he was like, wow, this team is amazing, and they were getting beat 24-0. This time they're actually winning and probably gonna win, and he was like, wow, this Rabbitohs team's fantastic. Panthers though, just a bunch of bums. Even down to him sort of going after the referees for like the one call that they actually got throughout the night, right? Which was the one where Adam Reynolds, he went to go put up a bomb. I think it was Adam Reynolds, but he went to go put up a bomb, and I think it was Leota or someone like that come across to make a tackle. And you can see he's clearly making a tackle. There's a lot of times where players just come along and they just get in the way or do stuff like that. But he was actually wrapping the arms, doing everything right, and the ball just happened to come off him because Adam Reynolds left it too late. And that's going to happen sometimes. You take the good with the bad. It's going to happen sometimes. And this time it went bad for the Rabbitohs. But instead, Gus is just blowing up at the referees. And I was glad after the game that all the other panelists were like, what is he on about? That's clearly the right call. Gus is off his head. And he definitely was. There was something weird. Even just the whole Channel 9 presentation, something was off, something was weird. Don't know if it's because it was played at Queensland or there was just something that felt weird about the grand final. However, I will say, like I said, the game itself was absolutely fantastic. At times throughout the game, I thought both of these teams were a chance of winning. Definitely thought at the end, I thought the Rabbitohs were coming and I thought they might have got them. I really did. When the call went against them, I was like, okay, they're done. But even later on, they got a chance. Adam Reynolds, a 2-point shot. He ended up missing. It was quite sad to see Adam Reynolds' reaction afterwards because you could tell not only did he lose the grand final, but that was his time done at the Rabbitohs. But realistically, the game was over as soon as Cody Walker threw that pass. That was just the game changer. Rabbitohs had defended so well. They defended so many times on their own try line, set after set. Panthers couldn't break him. And what ended up breaking them? A pass from their own player. Cody Walker puts it straight into his hands perfectly, and I know I've talked about that a lot, but that was the game-breaking moment. Obviously, earlier, he actually put them in a position to be in the game. Now, Panthers, they started off super strong, scored a try, could have easily went away with it. Obviously, the Rabbitohs' defence was quite good, but Penrith could have scored another try, they could have put the foot down, could have broke the Rabbitohs' spirit, but Cody Walker just went bang on Nathan Cleary, went straight through, set the fullback, went over untouched, and it was a great try. One of the best solo tries I've seen in a grand final. It's a shame that the grand final is going to be remembered for Cody Walker. Kind of similar to probably maybe like a Ben Hunt situation where although the game was great, you're always going to remember it for the intercept try. And I think that is super sad considering a lot of the talk going into the grand final, from myself included, was the fact that Cody Walker wasn't a big game player. And this was the game that I saw him and I went, yep, he's really stepping up here. The commentary were willing him on. They wanted him to bring the Rabbitohs home. It just didn't happen for them. But this Panther side, they are unreal. It's a shame that they're going to lose so many players next year. I say so many players. They're losing Matt Burton, Brent Naden. The only real one they're losing out of the main side is Matt Burton and Kurt Capewell. So they're losing 2 players. So they should be relatively strong next year. But for you'd imagine there'd be some more players to be moved on. But this side, a team that was produced out of pretty much all juniors. I think they said something like 13 out of the 17, or it was at least over 10. I can't remember the exact number, but majority of their side were produced throughout the area. And I think it's something that all clubs aspire to be. Like, I'm a Bulldog supporter, and if majority of our side came through our system, came through our juniors, or from the area, I would absolutely love that. Obviously, it's not really realistic. You can't really do that with every team, but this Panther side have produced something special. They did it in the juniors. They've now done it in the NRL. Credit to them. Nathan Cleary was a standout. He definitely deserved to be man of the match. He just steered them around perfectly. His kicking game was great. Like I said, the attack wasn't fantastic, and they weren't scoring tries left, right, and centre, but his kicking game, when it was needed, was absolutely pinpoint. And like I said, throughout this final series, the biggest takeaway from Penrith was their defence. And even when they were attacking, they were sort of defending, if that makes sense. They were just taking out the juice out of the Rabbitohs. Rabbitohs could strike, but they were so tired that they're going to be less likely to strike when they're bloody blowing and they can't breathe. So Nathan Cleary getting repeat set after repeat set, and yes, it was Nathan Cleary doing it. Jeremiah contributed a little bit, obviously passed the ball to Matt Burton. He did his part, but Nathan Cleary was the main man, and he steered them around, and he got them home. Last year he couldn't do it, this year he did. Last year we saw them really struggle on the big stage. This time they came out. I don't know if it maybe just the fact that they weren't playing the Melbourne Storm in the final. Maybe you play the Storm in the final, it's a different ball game, but taking on the Rabbitohs, I had the confidence that they could win. I think I ended up picking the Rabbitohs to actually win the game, but all week I was picking Penrith, and then I swapped last minute, so that showed you how tight it was. So I know there was a lot of fans sitters, me included, and I think it was kind of justified with how the result went. Anyways, that was my quick review of the game. Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think of the game? Congratulations, Penrith fans. I'm sure you're going to be making some comments about that. Condolences to the Rabbitohs fans. I know for sure. I did a live stream last night, and you guys were quite upset. It is what it is. Just take it in and hope you can get back there in a couple of years' time. Penrith were in the exact same boat last year. They got super close, couldn't get the job done, and they came back this year. So it shows it can happen. Will it probably happen at the Rabbitohs? I don't think so with the players they're losing, but at the same time, give them a couple of years, they could be back. Also, even if you weren't supporting any of these sides, let me know in the comment section below. What were your thoughts of the game? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? I personally thought it was a really good game. I think I made that pretty clear. Although, like I said, the refereeing is a little bit frustrating. Not because of how it was actually reffed in the grand final, but because of how it was reffed throughout the rest of the year. And then all of a sudden they come to the grand final and they referee it like that. It's like, why didn't they do that all season? But anyways, enough ranting about the referees. I'm going to end this video. Thanks for watching. If you happen to enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Also, make sure to turn on the notification bell. Don't miss any of my videos. I know it's the NRL off season, but I'm still going to be uploading, hopefully daily. So like I said, stay tuned for those videos. Also, go ahead and give me a follow on social media. It's on the screen right now. It's Mr. Luke and YT for the most part. My Facebook is Mr. Luke, but everything else, including Snapchat, including TikTok, is Mr. Luke and YT. So go ahead and give me a follow, give me an ad. Also go ahead and check out the merchandise. You guys asked for it, I delivered. Put a lot of time and effort into making these designs. There are some Grand Final designs. Not sure if you want the Rabbitohs one these days, but the Panthers one is still there. The pink Panthers design. They won the premiership. Go ahead and pick up a Mr. Luke merch Panthers design. Anyways, that's where I'm going to wrap up this video. Like I said, stay tuned for more. Congratulations to the Panthers. Condolences to the Rabbitohs. What a game it was though. Hopefully you enjoyed the game and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Peace out.